Hello everyone, this is Charissa back here with Elaine on our project analysis series. So today we'll be talking about Lentor Gardens Residences.
Yes. Okay, so Lentor Garden is going to preview very soon in early July.
Yep.
So that's why today we are doing this video to share with you what exactly will be Lentor Garden, what we should be looking at for Lentor Garden.
So this time round actually we can do it faster because we do have a little bit information. We do have some information faster than previous.
Sure,
so
yes,
yeah,
correct.
so I hope that this video will be able to help you to identify what is actually the sweet spot or what is a walkaway price that we should consider when we come into Lentor Gardens Residence.
Yeah.
Yes.
Correct. So on this slide, right, you can actually see that. So for most of you who are familiar with Lentor, you would have already have known that actually there's a lot of existing plots already.
Yeah.
And later we're going to also share with you the total number of units existingly over here, and then also addressing some of the concerns. So from here we can see that, right, this is where Lentor Garden is.
So this is like the 7th plot, right? We have Lentoria,
Yes.
Lentor
1,
Mansion
2,
being the
3.
last one. Central being the last one.
Yes.
Yeah, so this is the 7th plot. So I think a lot of buyers might have concern that whether Lentor area, is there an oversupply issue?
Correct.
Yeah. So which is actually in our video today, we want to touch on this.
Yes.
Because if let's say we want to enter really into Lentor, what are the things to consider?
Yeah.
And what are the things
look
that we
out
need
for.
to take note? Yes, correct.
Okay, so but before that, we also want to, in this slide, we can see that actually Lentor Garden is also walking distance to the MRT
6
station.
minutes, right? About 6 minutes
So
walk.
we actually cut through the Hilock Park. So
Yeah.
there's actually various ways. It's about a 6 minutes walk. Yeah, so it's also walking distance to Lentor MRT
It's
station.
quite nice, all covered with greens, and you just walk through
And then
the
just
park.
nice, the Hilock Park is like in the middle.
Yes. Okay.
Okay,
Come.
so this will be the main content of our video today. First of all, we want to address the issue that a lot of us will be asking, is there an oversupply problem in Lentor?
Yes. Correct.
Next is the next door higher bid.
Which is the 8th plot.
The 8th plot, which is
Yes.
bidded by Guaco. Later, we also share with you on the pricing. So, but more importantly, we want to understand this land bid next plot, right? How does it affect Lentor Garden? So what are the things to also look out for? Okay? And the third point, the third issue that we want to also address is that in Lentor area, can we rent out the units?
Yes.
Yeah, so there's an oversupply issue. And then can we actually do a proper rental over there? Can we actually rent out the unit?
Yeah.
So that's the third part that we want to look into. And last but not least, of course will be the project info and floor
Floor
plans.
plans. Yeah, that one we will briefly run through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, so let's get started. So for Lentor Garden Residences, the developer is actually Kingsford, right?
Yep.
So they have actually done various projects lah. Okay, so this is our contact, our QR code. Please like and share our video if you find that our video content has actually benefited you. So yeah, and this will
And
keep
if you
us
need
motivated.
if you need any information on Lentor Gardens after watching and you find that you might not understand some of the terms that we are using, just please feel free to contact any one of us.
Okay, so this is just some airtime. Right,
Yeah.
now start of our main content.
Is there an oversupply issue?
So from here we can already see that, okay, so this is actually 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7.
Yeah.
7 plots over here.
Yeah.
And this is actually the Lentor Central, which is the 8 plot. The land bid just, the tender closed 2 months back in 2026. Okay, so these are actually all the existing plot. Okay, so from this chart, you actually see clearly that exactly how many units and inventory are there in Lentor area. So on the left side, right, we actually list down all the developments, and there's actually existingly a total of 2,954 units already. So upcoming in Lentor Gardens, there's going to be another 499, and the new plot potentially another 500 plus units. So adding on another 1,000 inventory into Lentor area. So now the question is there an oversupply in Lentor?
Yes, I think that's a lot of concerns of a lot of buyers because when we look at the numbers, 2,954, 1,061 is very, very big numbers.
Like huge numbers.
Yeah, huge numbers in such a small area like Lentor area. I'm entering into 3,000 over units. So I think this is, which is also the key point, what we are trying to bring across is that when we look at oversupply issues, right, it's not at the point when you enter. It's at the point when you exit. So now if we look back at Lentor Gardens, okay, so Lentor Gardens is going to be launched this year and the TOP will be in 2030, which is in line with the 4 years SSD. Yeah. So now if we look back at during the time that we want to sell, who is our competitor?
Yes.
I think that is the most important point. So now if you look back, right, 3 years SSD, which is the 6 plots that we tabulated here, right, they have already sold or because if you look at this, right, this one is 2029 or 2028.
Yes,
2028. So by then of the time when we are supposed to sell,
where you can sell.
where I can sell, then I have no competitors basically because all my competitors has already sold and transacted. Yes, in a way. Yeah, I'm not saying that they won't sell at all, but I'm just saying
the
that
main bulk of them selling.
Correct.
So the situation over here is because there is a change of seller stamp duty period.
Yes, that's one.
Yeah. So that previously, whatever that's listed on the left side is under the 3-year SSD period. SSD is actually the seller stamp duty.
Yes.
So if you to sell within the SSD period, right, there's actually taxes involved. That you have to pay a stamp duty.
Which
right?
most of the owners won't. They will try to sell after the SSD
Correct.
period.
Yes. Yeah. Then on the right side, which is the upcoming Lentor Garden and Lentor Central, the new plot, right, is actually under the new ruling of 4-year seller stamp duty.
Yes.
Yeah. So that's the difference in the timing that we see. As you mentioned just now, Lentor Central, based on 2025 launch, they will be selling it in 2028.
Yep.
Yeah. So for Lentor Garden, they can only sell
in 2030.
From here that we can actually see that because of the 2 years period, right, by the time that if you are owner of Lentor Garden, you can only sell in 2030. At that point where you exit, right, you actually do not have any competition.
Yes.
Because after that will be Lentor Central, but that's another 1 year later. So in 2030, at the point if you choose to sell, there is no competition because Lentor Central, the new plot, can only sell 1 year later.
Yeah.
So this is how we want to look at the oversupply issue. So oversupply is not just about looking at whatever inventory or the number of units in the area. It's more of the exit timing.
Yes,
At the point of time when you want to exit, right, do you have competition? Because if you have competition, then definitely you'll make the competition will make your unit harder to sell or slower to sell, or probably your profit will be affected because there is supply in the market. But looking at this is what we want to address, is that at the point when you exit, there's actually no competition. Okay? So then next, remember the second point that we want to look at is that because of
price,
because of the Guaco land that they bidded, right, which is actually much higher. So how does it affect? Will it actually even affect us?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay, so for this chart, right, we actually list down all the projects so that we have a clearer picture. From Lentor Hills Residences and then Hilock, Lentoria, these are all the land price.
Yep.
Okay, and these are the sale price, the lowest price to the highest price that is already transacted in the respective development.
Yep.
Okay, so we can see that, right, actually throughout the
number of years, throughout the years,
projects has been launched, right?
Correct.
We can see that the initial starting from price, right, is around that. Okay, this is 2008, then 2007, 2009. 2001, 2009. So I would say, I would say that probably an average of about 2009 to 2000 starting price.
For Lentor Gardens Residence.
For Lentor area. So it's about that $1,009 to $2,000 per square foot. Okay, and the highest price right now, the highest transactor is Lentoria at 2670. But again, you can see from here the average high prices, it's around that $2,005 per square foot.
Yep.
Okay.
Correct.
So now we also want to from here make an estimate of how much Lentor Garden will be looking at.
Now, if you look at the chart, right, based on the land price, if you look at over the years, these are the land bids that, or the land price that the developers has actually bidded. So today, Lentor Gardens is at 920 PSF PBR. So that means to say that there might be a chance that the developer might be very prudent or might be very competitive in terms of the pricing. So assuming if they were to adopt the same pricing strategy like what we have discussed previously, that the developer's pricing strategy starting from for Lentor is actually very competitive. So
around that $1,009 to $2,000 per square foot, right?
Correct.
Because of the land price, because of the price that they bid for the land, they actually can do it.
Yes.
Yeah, if they want to. That means to follow back what has been launched previously, around that $2,000 per square foot onwards.
which is actually a very good or very sweet spot for a lot of buyers because you are buying into the old price tag, right? So it's assuming they are launching about maybe starting from 2000 PSF, right? So now what we want to know here is that Lentor Central is actually bidded $300 higher than us.
So this is the part that we want to also understand. How does this affect Lentor Garden pricing? So just now, as you mentioned, right, they can start from $2,000 per square foot.
Correct.
Right? But then what is the maximum price what is the highest price that they may want to go to?
Yes. So let's say if you look at this, right, if you look at Lentor, which is the highest PSF as of now is 2670. So if Lentor Central will be at this land price, that means they have to be launched they have to be sold at a higher price. Correct? So that means they will
because of their land bid price.
Correct. So now with this, right, then we will want to know, what is the developer's pricing strategy? Because Kingsford, we have actually done quite a few analysis already. So with this pricing strategy that most of the time the developer adopts, right, we will be able to identify roughly what kind of pricing strategy they will adopt and what will be a price that we should walk away. So next we will talk about the developer's pricing strategy. So for Lentor Gardens is actually
Kingsford.
Yeah, it's Kingsford, and we will take Chuan Park's pricing on the launch day, for example. Okay, so if we look at now we will take this example, 2-bedroom, 20th floor, 19th floor. 743 square feet, 743 square feet as a comparison. So that means now if you want to look at the pricing. So on the launch day itself, which is 10th of November, this is also 10th of November, both is sold on the same day. But we see that 20th floor is actually sold at 2627 PSF. And then 19th floor at 2007 PSF. So why is this so? So normally, right, it will be this one sold lower and then this one should be higher
a stage up price because of the levels,
based on level, based on per floor jump. It is the usual case. But now we see here is that 20th floor is actually sold lower than 19th floor.
Yes.
So by and large is because of the queue number. Because my buyer also bought during launch day. So I was quite clear of what was happening. So I will think that I will see that it's because of the queue number. The buyer actually went ahead to buy the 20th floor first. Then a later queue number, then they buy a lower floor, which was actually at a higher price.
That means to say on the launch day itself, the prices has already increased quite a bit.
Yes.
Because if you can see from here, right, from 19th floor to 20th floor, right, there is already a 2.8% increment.
Correct.
Usually if you look at the per floor jump, is probably about 0.3 to 0.5% difference on the per floor jump basis. But because of this, right, we know that on the actual launch day, there was already a 2.8% increment. So the other information that we draw out was actually for 3-bedroom. So just now was a 2-bedroom. So similarly for 3-bedroom over here, right, we can see that the 20th floor is transacted at 2563 per square foot. But one floor down on the 19th floor, right, is actually higher at 2608 per square foot.
Yes.
So there is actually another 2% increment. So this is actually very similar scenario as per the 2-bedroom, meaning to say the later part of the buyers who bought at the later part of the day, within the same day, but later part of the day, actually already bought at a price increase. So which is around that 2 to even a 3% increment on the launch day.
Yes. Okay. So one more point that you have to take note is that because of this, we understand that Chuan Park has this pricing strategy, right? So that means that developers they will increase the price if they say that the queue number is the queue number is very healthy, the units are really moving. Yes, the interests are moving. So if let's say example, if you happen to have a very, very good queue number, then maybe you might want to go from top down onwards. Yes, top then down. But depending on the per floor jump, etc. So if let's say this happens and you manage to get a 20th floor at a much lower price, then it's a win-win.
It's already a buffer in terms of the price difference already.
Yes, correct.
So this is actually on launch day. We can see that on launch day there is already a price increment. So we also want to see until now, Right? Because this one was actually in 2024 ma. So now we're in 2026, about 1.5 years later, the current transaction. So again, we pull out data. This is actually a 3-bedroom unit. So for this one, right, 18th floor is actually sold at 2,586 per square foot. All right. And the 16th floor is actually sold at 2,723 per square foot. So from here, we can see that based on just 2 levels difference. But because this was at launch day, 18th floor was purchased on the launch day, but 16th floor, much lower, 2 floors down, purchased 1.5 years later in May 2026. The increment is actually a 5.3% increment in terms of the price. So it's very similar to what you have said just now. If given the chance that you can actually purchase a higher floor, then I think this is something which is going to be very good for the buyers. Because we know that developer will increase price on launch day and from launch day till the existing timing that they actually will finish selling the units.
Correct.
So this is how Kingsford will actually be pricing based on Trump Park case study. And we can see from here is also that on a summary scale, right, for the whole of these 2 years, the lowest per square foot is actually transacted, sold is actually at 2269. But the highest has already went up to 2793. Meaning to say it's $500 gap. Yes. So now we want to bring this thing back into Lentor Garden. Okay, so next we also want to understand, remember just now we highlighted that the Guaco land plot was actually bidded $300 more than Lentor Garden. Okay, so this is actually to show that Lentor Garden break-even is actually over here at about 1,009, close to 1,009 per square foot. All right, but for the new upcoming plot, right, for Lentor Central, new plot, the break-even price is about $2,324. $2,300 to $2,400 per square foot. That's the difference in the break-even price, right? So now the question is, how high will Lentor Central GLS hit in the future? Because given the fact that there is already a $300 difference in terms of the per square foot, in terms of the land bidder.
Yes.
So just now you mentioned, right?
Lentoria was at 2670.
2670.
As of now.
Yeah. And the land price was actually about 1,001-ish. So this time round for the Guaco land is at 1,002, right? It can
potentially,
they probably have to go up to $2,700 to $2,800 per square foot price.
Because of the land bids.
Because of the
land that they bought at and then break-even price, etc.
Correct.
So they have to sell at 2008, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
So again, bringing this back to Lentor Garden. So just now we also have identified that developer can start from $2,000 per square foot because of their land bid was actually bidded much lower. All right. But what is the highest price they can go to? Looking at how they price Trump Park, looking at how much they have actually added on to the price increment, it is a good chance that they may also use this price as a benchmark.
Yes, because I already know in the future that this will actually might or potentially happen.
Yes, correct. Yeah. So the future price will be this price.
Yes.
So for me, I can start from 2,000, right? But I can also price it at around that. The highest price that I can go to is probably about that 2007-ish to 2008. Because later on, 2007 could be very much the new plot starting from price. So now we have more or less understand how they will probably price
the unit
for Lentor Garden, right? What will be a price that we will want to be looking into, or a safe entry price to look into Lentor Garden?
Yep. So if let's say, assuming they start at 2,000, of course it's a PSF, right? Of course it's a no-brainer. It's an old price tag, right? Yeah, correct. So I think key point is, what is the, like what you mentioned, what is the walkaway price? I would think that 2,550 to 26, it will be a walkaway price. Because if anything higher, then I won't be buying at the project sweet spot.
So maybe we want to take a look back at this price chart, right? Because if it's the past project at 2005, it will be on the high side already. Because this is actually what is reflected at about 2526. It's actually the highest transacted for the respective development. But today, because of how Lentor Central has to price because of their land bid, which is potentially about 2007 to 2008.
Yes.
Today in Lentor Garden, if you are getting somewhere around that 25, just now you mentioned about 2550 to 2006, you are actually getting something which is the middle price.
Yes.
Yeah, which is still something very safe for Lentor Garden, knowing that in future, Lentor Central new plot, right, will actually be hitting this price. Okay, so our opinion is that we will actually be looking max around this price range to look into for Lentor Garden.
Yep, correct.
Okay, so this is how we want to analyze how the new land plot will actually affect developers' mindset in terms of how they're going to price Lentor Garden. Okay, now the last point that we want to address is that, can I rent out my property in Lentor? Actually, the question to us is that it's more on the rental yield. Because actually, any properties in Singapore, you can rent out. But the question is, how much are you renting out at?
Yep.
So how much you're renting out at will be affecting your rental yield. Yeah. So to purchase a unit in Lentor, definitely we feel that definitely it will be rented out. It's just about the rental yield.
Yes.
So then back to your question, if I were to purchase something in Lentor, what is my intention of purchase? Am I looking for a high rental yield, or actually do I want to look at more on the profitability? Right?
Correct.
So, and we know that for Lentor area, we should be looking more into the potential margin that we'll be looking to, because rental yield may not be the best in the Lentor area. Yeah.
Yep.
So then we also pull out some case study to understand rental yield and profitability.
Yep.
Right. So let us take a look at this example. So we have actually Affinity at Serangoon, and also we compare with Uptown at Farrer. Okay. So the reason why we pull out this data is because we want to have a very similar purchase date.
Yep.
All right.
And exit date also.
Yes. Similar entry date and also exit date.
Yep.
And also very similar quantum. All right. And both of them are actually 3-bedroom. So if you look at Affinity's sale price, right, it's actually at 1.8 million, right, in 2026 this year. And then for Uptown, right, it's actually at 1.6. But the purchase price initially was very close. Meaning to say, to summarize, in terms of the profit that Affinity 3-bedroom make, right, is actually a 366,000. The annualization is at 4.75%.
Yep.
But does Affinity actually have high rental yield? So if you look at this, right, for the 3-bedroom in Affinity, it's actually just at 3.5% rental yield, which is not bad. But if you were to compare with Uptown and Farrer, right, it can actually fetch up to 5,003, which is a 4.2% rental yield.
Yes.
Then again, we look at the profit, the annualization, right? For Uptown, it was actually sold at only 1.64, meaning to say the profit was only at about 130,000. The percentage is actually at 1.83. So this case study will clearly show that, right, in terms of profit versus rental yield, these two may not come hand in hand most of the time.
It's not a direct equation.
Correct. It's not that I have a high rental yield, I will have a high profit.
Yes.
Or vice versa, right? Because from here we can see that Affinity is actually at much higher profit, but in terms of the rental yield, it is
lower.
Yeah,
Slightly
it is
lower.
actually lower than Uptown. Next, we have another case study which is also similar. This is actually Forex at Bukit Timah. This is actually Forex for the typo, sorry. And then it's
Iberia.
Yeah. So again, the purchase date is actually very similar, and the purchase quantum is also very similar. Sale date is November 2025, this September 2025. So in short, we again look at Forex, right, in terms of their annualization of the profit is actually at 3.86%. Versus over here is actually just at 1.66.
Yes.
But the Ivera, right, in terms of the rental, is actually at 3%. Versus Forex, which is actually at just 2.18%.
Yes.
So again, it doesn't mean that you need to have a very high rental yield in order for you to have a good profit annualization.
Yep. Correct.
Okay. So this is actually how we look at whether the rental yield, is it more important to you, or is it the profit that is actually more important to you if you were to purchase something in Lentor?
So now I think the question you have to pose to yourself is that, if you were to look at Lentor Gardens, what is the intention of your purchase? If you're looking at rental yield, of course, you will not have the best rental yield. But in terms of profit, they might have a very good appreciation in the future. Yeah, that's of course at the correct entry price that you're entering.
Yep, correct. So because honestly today, if let's say you are really looking at a very good rental yield, you will probably be looking at something in the more central area, because that's where you usually can fetch a better rental yield.
Yep.
Okay, so that is for the rentability, the rental yield, and also the versus the profit.
Yeah, the contents that we wanted to cover. Yeah, so next we will also be moving quickly into the project information.
Yes, correct. So just now we already addressed all the concerns and issues. We'll just quickly look into the project information.
Yep.
Okay, so the project name is again Lentor Gardens Residences by Kingsford developer, and there's a total number of 499 units.
Yes.
Okay, it's 99 years leasehold.
30 TOP.
Yes, around there. Vacant possession.
Yeah.
Okay, so that's for project information. And this is actually the location. So just now we also mentioned, right, it's actually walking distance to the MRT station.
Yeah.
This is actually Lentor Modern, but the MRT station is actually just right beside. Okay, so this is where we are. And of course, there will be, later when we look at the site plan, you can see that some of the units will be the Hilock Park facing.
Yes.
Okay. Then, this is the part. Okay, so there's actually the site plan. I would say that it's actually quite very decent land size and how they actually space out the unit.
Yep.
Yeah. So these actually are the...
Most of them has either pool view, or if not, then the Hilock Park view. Or
okay, this is the one.
Yes.
The Hilock
Correct.
Park view over here.
And then, pool view, etc.
Okay, so this is actually the unit mix. Smallest is actually 2-bedroom.
Yep.
All right.
3.
2, 3, 4.
4.
And there's
And
actually
3
units of the strata terrace. Yeah.
Correct.
Okay, so that's the unit distribution. Just now, when we look at the blocks over here, this one, all right, they are actually of a lower height because it's actually up to level 8.
Floor.
Yeah, then level 9, there's actually a roof terrace. But the other blocks, right, will be until level 16.
Okay.
Okay?
Yep.
Right? Okay, so this is our contact. Feel free to get in touch with us.
Yep.
Okay? Preview date, preview is going to start on the 4th of July. And the booking date very likely is going to be on the 18th of July. Okay? We still have some time if you need help in understanding how you can actually put this in part of your portfolio, or this is one of the options that you'll be looking into. So feel free to get in touch with us.
Yep.
Okay, we come to the floor plan analysis. All right, so we also want to also share with you on this floor plan analysis, plans that they provide.
Yeah, so the 2-bedroom actually have quite a fair bit. Yeah, so
it's a lot of different layout, but actually the sizes are the same.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so starting from the smallest is actually
2-bedroom premium, 646 square feet, stack 24, which is here, the park facing. Yeah. So dumbbell layout, standard dumbbell layout. And then you have a proper dining area.
Yes.
Yeah. And then if next one will actually be the 678 square feet unit, tuck kitchen. But this one is a longish kitchen lah. So this one is tuck kitchen.
Concept.
Yes, correct. But it's also dumbbell layout. Yeah. And then you have a proper dining
actually
area
all the
as well.
with dumbbell layout.
Correct. There is no, I don't think there is
traditional
traditional kind of layout. Yeah. So and then next will be 678 again, which is at stack 3 and stack 20. Stack 9 and stack 20 pool facing. Same. Actually, the layout is about the same lah. It's just like probably mirror image and yeah. So this one comes with
same size.
Yeah, this one comes with a study also. Yeah.
Just that a wider walkway lah.
Correct. So this two comes with the 2-bedroom premium plus study. Yeah.
Okay, this is actually the one with the home shelter, which is 689 square feet.
Yes.
Okay, that's an additional home shelter. So actually, in our opinion, is that right? Coming back, we look back from the 646 square feet onwards, right? Because 646 and 678, the size difference is very little.
Yes.
So in our opinion, we will feel that if possible, we should go for the 678 because of the tuck-in kitchen.
Yes.
And also not forgetting, because Lentor, we already have quite a number of 2-bedroom units and different layout in Lentor itself.
Correct.
So if you are looking at 2-bedroom, we would feel that to get a better layout, which is the tuck-aside kitchen.
Because if we want to sell in the future, at least we have an edge selling point in the future.
Okay. And that's for the 678 square feet. For the 689, because of the bigger size already, but that comes, although it comes with a home shelter, but the part that if let's say you're looking more on rental yield or looking more on just investment point of view, a lower entry price, 689 may not be the best option because of the slightly bigger size.
Yes, correct. Although it comes with a bomb shelter.
So next we have 2-bedroom premium plus study. So 732 square feet, but same size, but we have got different layout. One key thing to highlight is that, right, is actually the study and this kitchen area for the different types of 732.
Yes.
Yeah. So for here, right, we can see that when you come
so S1, Yeah, S1, S2 is actually having the same kind
S1
of
and
layout.
S2, correct. So you come in, right? Actually, I feel that this kitchen area is feels slightly narrower.
Yeah.
Because, and then although there is actually a wider space, but somehow it feels that this part over here is feel quite tight.
Because we don't have the measurements as yet. Yeah, so that's why we can only base on.
So why do we say so? Because if you look at the next few
layout
for 732,
S3 and S4, I think they are slightly better, right?
Over here, right? S3 and S4, this kitchen doesn't feel as tight.
Yep.
And also because this study feels a bit wider.
Yes.
Yeah, so the first two was actually more narrow.
Yep.
Longer.
And because of the orientation of the study, right, the dining feels not so tight also.
Yeah.
Yeah, as compared to
Just now the one, the dining,
feels a bit tighter, this part.
this part over here.
Feels a bit tighter.
Okay, so the S3 and S4 is something that we will recommend.
Yes.
Yeah.
If you're looking at something that for own stay, you need a study space, then probably something that you can consider.
S5 is also okay because it's quite similar. S6 will then come back to the slightly narrow study.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. But then again, all the sizes are the same lah. So again, we will have to look at on the actual day itself, what are the difference in terms of the pricing.
Yeah, in terms of the measurements also. Yeah.
Then next come 3-bedroom. 3-bedroom, the smallest unit is actually 872 square feet.
Yep.
This is actually quite decent. I think it's actually a very good size for 3-bedroom compact. The only thing that is that this foyer looks longish.
Yeah, correct.
But I feel right, we can do a lot of carpentry over here to make use of the space.
Yep.
And what is nice about this 872 is that it comes with the windows in the over here. It comes with window
cooking
in
area.
the kitchen. Yeah. So and also the bathroom. There's also windows in bathroom.
Yep.
So for,
although it's 872, the smaller size.
for 3-bedroom compact, everything with with windows, I think that's very decent.
Yep.
And then 936 is also okay because it also comes with the
Windows.
window. Okay. The middle size is the one that is actually much more interesting because this is 969, comes with home shelter, but
don't come with window.
yeah, no
So
window.
developers are actually very smart.
Yeah.
They
This one
give
here.
you study, home shelter, but then you have to compromise a little bit on the windows.
Study and home shelter, but no windows. But the other one is no study, no home shelter, but got windows.
Yes.
Yeah. So because of that, because of this thing, right, because of this 969, right, the next, in our opinion, again, we felt that if given a choice, all right, we should be looking into 1001 because again, 969 and 1000 square feet, the difference in size is very little.
Yes.
But for 1001 square feet, you basically have everything.
Yep.
Yeah, you come, especially for
Dry
one stay.
kitchen, wet
you,
kitchen, you have yard, home shelter, etc.
Over here, you
And
have
all
all
the
the-
windows you want.
Yes.
Yep.
Correct. Okay, so that's for 1001 square feet. Then next will be 1012. Again, it's not too much of a difference between 1000 and 1012 square feet. Lah.
Yes, correct.
Okay.
I would think there's only the longer walkways.
Over here,
Yeah,
the
correct.
foyer over
so
here.
So based on this, right, our recommendation will still be the
1001.
1001. Yeah.
Okay, last but not least, we have our 4-bedroom. 4-bedroom, the 4-bed compact is actually at 1184. Nowadays, developer like to do the size at 1184 for 4-bedroom compact.
Yes.
Yeah. And then, okay, this one is nothing to pick on. It's very similar layout as a 3-bedroom, just that it has got an additional one more 4th bedroom.
Yep.
Okay, and I would feel definitely the quantum will be very affordable for a 4-bedroom compact at 1184 square feet. And the bigger units will be 1356 and 1346 square feet.
Yes.
All right. So this one will come with the white frontage because the 4-bed compact is the portrait layout or similar to the 3-bedroom narrower living area. So for 1356 it will be the white frontage already, and 1346.
Okay, but the strange part is that this is 1356, but I feel that this part is shorter, but then this part is longer. But there's a size is 10 square feet.
Maybe
So-
they compromise somewhere in
Yeah,
between.
so maybe when you want to compare these two, you might want to compare a bit more details.
So I think for 4-bedroom, usually if you are looking at, you need a 4-bedroom, but with a tighter budget, then definitely the 1184 is going to be something very comfortable in terms of the quantum,
correct.
right? But if let's say you are someone who really need a bigger unit, right, for your own use, then definitely 1356. In terms of the layout or the floor plan, is definitely nothing to pick on.
Yep.
Yeah, white frontage, and then it comes with 4 proper rooms, and also there's over here is actually considered an ensuite, ma.
It's a junior master.
The junior master 4th room is actually junior master.
correct.
You have actually one more bathroom for your common bedroom use. So total of 3 3 bathroom plus a WC over here.
Yep.
Okay.
Correct.
So all you need for 4 bedroom.
Everything is
Big
in there.
4 bedroom. Yes.
Yeah, everything is in there lah.
Okay, so that's the end of our analysis for today for Lentor Gardens. So what we have done in this video is to address, just to recap, 3 concerns that is going to be a lot of buyers will be asking. Number 1 is the oversupply issue, which we already identified because of the seller's stamp duty. At the point where you exit Lentor Garden, there's actually no competition.
Yep.
That's number 2.
Yep.
No, that's number 1.
Yes.
The number 2 is actually
Developers' pricing strategy. Yeah, and also the future plot. How
How
it
does it
actually
affect?
affect us. Yes.
And the third point that we also want to address is that can I rent out my property in Lentor? But again, we also want to address this concern is that it's not so much on whether you can rent out or not, it's looking at the rental yield. But because knowing that in Lentor area, rental yield may not be the most fantastic.
Correct.
If this is something that you are looking at in terms of pure rental yield, you probably will be looking at other places already. So for Lentor area, we also have shown you case study is to show that there are really places that with a lower rental yield, but the profit in terms of the percentage annualization is actually much higher. So it does not necessarily mean that you need to have a very good rental yield to have a good profit
In the future.
in your
lah.
property.
Yeah,
Yes, correct.
Yeah.
So that's the end of analysis. We hope that you have a better understanding of what's going to happen in Lentor, and we hope that we have also addressed all the concerns that you have in your mind. So if any questions,
Yes, please
Feel
feel
free
free
to
to contact
contact us.
us. Yeah, so if you need floor plans or understanding a little bit more about other projects as well, yes, please feel free to contact us.
so if not, we will see you in our next analysis video, and I think the next one is going to be in Dunnan House.
Oh, yes, correct. Yeah.
Thanks for watching.
All right,
See you.
thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Bye.